A girl was harassed when she was walking back from work in the middle of the night. It didn't take a long time before people started to point fingers at her, blaming her for choosing the kind of job which doesn't have the normal clocking in and clocking out hours, indirectly blaming her for having a low education that she couldn't pass interviews at somewhere better. Or should we go back to the main cause of the problems? That she was too poor to afford enough food with proper nutrition, to afford books and other learning materials, and to afford cram schools and other extra lessons that make people her age soar high in university entrance exams and pass the interviews and other screening tests easily at seemingly better workplaces with better working hours and compensations. She didn't even wear a short skirt or sultry makeup that night. People were blaming her just because she was a woman, daring to take the kind of job which pays her little, but a job nevertheless. People didn't want to hear her side of the story, how she was attacked from behind, how her purse was grabbed, and how her face was smashed when she tried to fight back, because everything she owns was in that battered bag with big fake designer logos on its zippers. Nobody empathized with her. They kept blaming her for what could and should have been. You should have been more careful. You should have got off work earlier. You should have chosen another job. You should have run faster and screamed louder so people could have been aware that something was wrong. And the list went on. Not even once did they look at the perpetrator and condemn him for his crime and evilness, blaming the harassment on he who did bad and hurt the young woman not even once. All eyes were on her and how the crime could have been prevented if she had done this or that. Another time I wrote on a blog and had it stolen in a matter of hours. It wasn't the first time. The first time was when one of my writings was stolen and made into a video on YouTube without my permission. No concrete result ever came out after reporting it. Nothing ever happened, although I had friends lining up to support me by reporting that video. The report was neglected and I had no hope to regain my copyright. The second time it happened, I was enraged. Although people say you cannot control plagiarism once your work is up on the internet, I still hope there is kindness and moral instilled in people's hearts. That it is not okay to steal, that it is not right to claim somebody else's work as yours, that it is not justified to take it just because you admire the quality of the said work. Because some people had the nerve to say to my face, "You write well, that's why you got your article stolen." Why on earth would I be to blame for having competence and skill? Why on earth won't they blame they who have stolen from me and my friends? Why on earth won't they think that the victim should never be blamed for crimes that put them to disadvantages? I know that copyright infringement seems like a less serious and harmful crime than the harassment of the girl that I mentioned earlier, but the damage is the same. It makes you riled up and question yourself. It makes you unsure whether you have done right and where could anything have gone wrong. It makes you wondering about copyrights and other rights to defend yourself, your dignity and standpoint as a human being in front of the law and the people it is ruling over. The law and its enforcement, who should be protecting everyone against violation, prove to have many biases that you feel hopeless. Copyright infringement is also a crime, a violation against law, but it is never taken seriously. That's what you might get if you write on the internet. They say it over and over again and make my blood boil. Where should I find justice? How should I defend myself? How do I make people stop blaming the crime victims and seriously punishing those who have committed those heinous crimes? Are the criminals so untouchable that it is easier to blame everything on the victims who have suffered physically and mentally? Is blame the easiest way out that deludes you from seeing what is right and just next to what is wrong and corrupt? Is blaming the victims the easiest method to transfer that sense of moral responsibility from you as the member of society who could have done something to prevent a crime to those who are weaker and can't even defend themselves? Is blaming other people the best you can do?